Thank you for staying with us. Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers this Tuesday morning to see what the headlines will be. But let me give you a head-up. PDP National Convention and their planned zoning is awash on most of the national dailies today. We will return for the analysis. Let's kickstart with the Nation newspaper, which is bringing this PDP matter right here. PDP knocks out Saraki Bala from 2027 presidential race. It seems like a little storm in the house. And also on this Nigeria, PDP zones south its presidential ticket. We will talk more, but there's another matter right there on this Nigeria. Crisis loom in varsities over salary structure review. We're having salary structure review conversation at the university level. We're also having it at the political level. We'll see who will win at the end of the day. The Leadership newspaper is also talking the same thing this morning. If you would give me a few minutes to bring that up. PDP's zoning of presidential ticket to South sparks comment. Of course, it was going to Sodo. The Daily Times as well is talking about the same thing this morning. Zones 2027 presidential ticket to the South confirms Damagun chairman. But look at this, still on the Daily Times right there. NDLEA busts drug syndicate at Kano Airport. It would seem like of late there's quite a number of drug busting all across the country. What is going on with drugs, people? But let's get to the news direct this morning. We see right here again the zoning conversation. PDP presidential presidency to the South. Damagun confirmed as chairman finally. And we see a picture story. We'll talk about that as we move to the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Again, this conversation of PDP zoning their ticket to the South. But look at something else here. Ozekome, other lawyers hail Mba as governor reduces Enugu crimes by 80%. Remember, the NBA conference in Enugu as we speak. And then we get to the Guardian newspaper, which is also chiming on this PDP zoning matter. It says right here, PDP shuts out North. It's quite a very apt one. And the Platform Times is also discussing the same matter this morning. And we see right here, Gambari raises alarm over 1,000 terrorist groups operating across Africa. This is talking security. Well, and the Daily Independent is taking us on a matter that I thought had been laid to rest. However, look at this. Excitement over 5G wanes as faces investment challenges. Well, we'll talk. I just want to browse very fast on my phone. The Sporting Life is where we're going to, which will be our final bone this morning. Iwobi celebrates POM award with Nigerian dish. Before, which one even one can celebrate before? But Ibrahim, why we don't have a dish on the table?
He's in the food.
Just that kind of dish. But let's talk politics. The Nation newspaper this morning. I actually saw something earlier that Makinde is making a goal for this ticket. Since it's coming to the South, I'm putting my yard out.
Yes, it has been a fight to finish, you know, a bit within the PDP, saying that we have to zone the presidency to the South.
Yes.
I know that was what cost them the presidential ticket, presidential wins or gains in 2023, because they did that in 2022. And Wike, of all persons, was saying that, no, you couldn't do this. It's not the right thing to do. Buhari couldn't have spent 8 years, and then you expect that the power still stays in the north.
That's right.
Because you want former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to become the president of the country. So it wasn't really, it didn't go down well with him. And the G5, including Makinde and some other governors and all of that. So that they arrived during their 102nd NEC meeting goes to show that, yes, now they are listening, according to Wiki. Yes, you guys now appears to be taking, taking back your vomit that you intend not to, eat at the time. So now we see that Saraki, Bala, had been shot out.
Yes.
That might lead to another part or so, another problem, within the PDP. So they are solving one problem. How they will manage the next problem that will, probably, offshoot from the decisions they've made, then it remains to be seen. But one thing remains. Atiku Abubakar has also said, I will be running for president under the ADC. Peter Obi is also giving that signal that he might also join the PDP now that it has been zoned to the south. So Peter Obi, Makinde, Atiku Abubakar, and a host of others have a whole lot to fight for.
You said might. I don't think it's might. I think there will definitely be a problem in the PDP now that we have, Bala and Bukola that have been just shot.
No, we don't want to sound like prophet of doom.
I'm a prophet. I agree to be a prophet. In this instance, there will definitely be a problem. When we talk about the PDP, we know that there has always been a power tussle. But like you said, I agree to the fact that now they have listened, because this is what has been said. The last time when a presidential candidate ran, that was Atiku Abubakar from the north and now for the south. But my problem is that I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if Makinde is that strong, to contest. That is my own question as well. Is he that strong, to contest for 2027? But now Ibrahim is saying that Peter Obi might join this movie he's doing. I don't know what happens, but now they're saying he's going back to PDP again.
The spokesperson said that he might consider going to the PDP because, of course, that is his base in the first place. Even though he said back in the day that we never leave Africa.
Well, he's saying a lot of things, so I am wondering.
The Labour Party, I don't see the Labour Party giving him that green carpet.
No, definitely not.
Because the Labour Party is factionalized.
Exactly.
So we do not know which faction will be elevated when
But Nelson, I tell you something. 2027 is going to be a movie. Looking at these names, now Makinde, now
it will be fantastic.
It will be
we will be here
right here
to discuss the drama.
But the funniest thing is that Makinde, talking about the PDP zoning to the south. Some PDP members in the south, especially Ogun State, they are rooting for the APC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So how they are going to, fight all of this?
Well, I think we should let the PDP matter to rest now. Let's move to this Nigeria this morning and discuss something else right here. At the bottom nameplate of this Nigeria, we see here, crisis looms in universities over salary structure review. SANU warns against introducing disparity as federal government plans 100% increase for ASU. RIA, they are saying that, look, if you want to increase salary, increase for all workers in the universities, whether you are a lecturer, you are a cleaner, you are a whatever, so long as you work within the university system, your salary should be increased.
And I totally agree, because when we see some of these lecturers, the way they live is not the best. I feel like you hear that they've been taking a certain salary for so many years, and then you wonder, is there no increment in it? Why is it just a static salary? I agree that what is good for the geese is good for the gander. If you want to increase the salary, it's just like you say you want to increase only Nelson's salary. I will not agree now. You have to increase.
Did you negotiate terms together with Nelson?
Really, let's throw bullets at me, Brian.
You have to increase everybody's salary because these people also play a great role. If the teachers are not there, all the time we see ASU going on strike. Why do they go on strike? For some of these reasons, it's actually about money.
I couldn't agree more, Ria. And I think we should consider increasing my salary, actually. But Ibrahim, let's get to the leadership newspaper right here. We see this conference, a picture story right there of the vice president and the chief of defense staff. This was at the inaugural meeting of African chief of defense staffs. I think this looks good because if we within the region, the bloc, our heads of the military can come together and discuss securing each of our countries, then we will not have those kind of information that we sometimes hear. They came from Chad into Nigeria to cause mayhem in the north.
Africa has been facing a whole lot of problems when it comes to security, not just farming, not just poverty, not just educational challenges and all of that. Insecurity has always been the bane of African society. If you go to DR Congo, you see the fighting going on there. If you go to South Sudan, you also see the fighting going on there. Even some parts of Nigeria, the Sahelian region, which has now culminated into the leaders, the head of states, or let's say the coupists, chasing away the foreign powers. And there is no way you can analyze or try to decipher exactly what the problem about the African insecurity is about without, without pointing accusing fingers to the West. The superpowers, talk about the US, talk about the UAE, talk about the UK, talk about the Russian, talk about the Ukrainian. Mention all of them. They all have their own interests. Why? Because of the because of the natural resources that they get from Africa. And one thing is, if you go to is it Uganda or DRC, the cheap, the rich earth that they take, for the want of word, that they actually use in making phones, chips, all of that is gotten from their own earth, rare earth. Do you understand? They get it from there, and they make use of the youth, the younger ones, to mine these things. After causing problems there, right? They will now take it to their own country, refine it, make it into cheap phones or maybe expensive phones, and now sell it back to us. So by the time we begin to hold on to our own natural resources without allowing these people to destroy our lands under the guise of seeking natural resources, mineral resources, in effect causing problem, mining goods and all of that, cobalt, we would have a better African society. So it is good that ECOWAS is now saying we'll be deploying 260,000 for the ECOWAS region, ECOWAS troops to fight insecurity. You talk about ISWAP, Al-Qaeda, etc. So much to talk about.
Ibrahim, you've taken this thing quite far, but we don't have the time to dissect further. But Ria, let me take you to the Daily Times and this matter of drug wahala in the country. NDLEA has busted another one at the Kano airport. It seems every other week we're seeing the NDLEA's activities in nipping crime, drug-related issues. Is this on the increase or something?
I strongly think there's an increase. I strongly think that. Just yesterday on the show, we reported a woman faking pregnancy, taking around illicit drugs. And for me, it's just very sad when we look at the fact that we as human beings, we are destroying the lives of other human beings. But I need to give the accolades to the NDLEA because they are doing a fantastic job. And also, I was hoping that as they're catching more people, people will stop. But it seems like as they're catching more people, people are even going ahead to continue to do more.
Right.
But then again, we say because of the supply, there's demand. But please, let us cancel this supply. I feel like when the supply is cancelled, then we do not even think of demand. I just pray that NDLEA will continue with this pursuit and people will learn that, they're working now. So if you're going anywhere with drugs, you will be caught.
And Ibrahim, if we can stay on this security related matters now, to the Platform Times where we saw a Gambari raises alarm over 1,000 terrorist groups operating across Africa. And we just talked about the defense inaugural meeting, a few seconds ago. With that kind of meetings, then they should be able to handle these kinds of uprisings. It says across Africa. So it's important that our security heads come together and know exactly what to do, really. Because we can't have this continuing.
Former Minister of
1,000 groups, not 1,000 persons. So which means
there
one
are more
group.
than that.
So I was actually giving names, to some of those groups. I do not know them, but I know that we have some of their names in the, right there on the front pages of newspapers, TV stations mentioning them. We've had the Lakurawa or Lakurawa. We know the Boko Haram. We know the, some of them even in Kenya. People that are also fighting, along the fringes of Libya and all of that. So it's a whole lot. So imagine Africa dealing with this huge amount of terrorist groups. How do we expect that African society, the continent, will develop? Even though we are fighting for development. It's good that our president also is moving from one country to the other in sealing deals and ensuring that we have bilateral relations, we have investment and all of that. But I tell you, these things will not yield positive results without fighting insecurity home and abroad.
That's right.
Abroad in this case is on the African continent. And Africa must also work towards ensuring that we have single economy.
That's right.
Single economy in the sense that, even single currency, if we can go that far.
Because like the former late Mugabe was,
not even Mugabe alone, you're talking about Gaddafi.
Well, yes.
And that is the reason why the US killed him. So we need to work strongly, ensure that even the AFC, FTA, talk about Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, we should ensure that it also stands easily so that we remove all these nonsense colonial territorial borders that they gave Africa, so that we'll have easily move to Ghana, move to Mali, move to Burkina Faso, Mozambique,
but for me,
etc.
Whatever reforms you bring, if insecurity is really tackling your country, to be very difficult. So I think that when it comes to security, these are things we need to look at. On this table, so many times we've reported even terrorists having the audacity to come out and say, bring money for us to release somebody. So these are things that need to be looked at.
Who give them guns? If they sell guns to us.
We reported the news that even those people have more guns than the police people.
Exactly. The proliferation of light weapons, using it to kill our own brothers.
But Ria, let me take you to the Daily Independent. Maybe something we can all smile about, even though it's not so smileable. But excitement over 5G wanes as this 5G now is facing investment challenges. I was thinking by now the fiber optic cables have been laid on. Do you use 5G? No, I think we're still in 4G.
For me, I use 5G, but it takes my data a whole lot, so I went back to 4G.
Amazing.
So I was thinking this is all good and gone now. So hey,
why are you complaining? Why you are the one that said you give me the one that the 5G enabled? but the challenge is the benefit of this would be really enormous. Being able to browse at the speed of light. Forget about your data consumption, because that's the issue about it. Of course, 5G is data is life, as they will say.
That's right.
And the 5G infrastructure. One thing is, how far have we gone with the 3G infrastructure? How far have we gone with the 4G? There are some places that you cannot even access the 4G. Now, if you talk about 5G, MTN, for instance, is the largest network when it comes to Nigeria.
That's right.
They've got about 2,000 infrastructure. Airtel has about 200. Let me just stay on those two. How far do they go? Like 13 states for MTN, talking about the larger states. But people that are interested in using 5G, they don't have the wherewithal to stay in highbrow places, right? In order to utilize this 5G. Those who stay in highbrow places, they don't do things that involve 5G. Right?
And for me, I'll say that we're starting what we cannot finish.
No, but we need it. If you go to Japan, if you go to China.
But right now, there's no investment anymore, and it seems like it will not be there.
That's the problem.
For me, it's all about being realistic.
Right,
that's right.
Because right now, it may not stand the test of time. You will go back to your 3G at the end of
no, 4G now. What's wrong with you?
No, I'm trying to save a lot of your data.
Don't be going, Brian. But there's an issue here on the Blueprints newspaper I'd like us to just quickly pick on before we take a run. The NBA conference, Ria and Ibrahim. It seems that every other year the NBA gathers, talk legal reforms in their sector, but then we end up seeing quacks in that sector, and we end up seeing some very conflicting court rulings and so on and forth. I'm hoping that the zest and the energy we saw in this NBA conference will be seen in the courtrooms amongst lawyers and judges, Ibrahim.
Yeah, you're talking about the NBA. We have the judges, we have the bar and the bench, as they will say. It's good that the last conference was not chaotic as we've seen in previous times.
It seemed quite organized.
Yes, very organized. Of course, when you have people like Falana, Ezekweme, etc. And then they also brought in Julius Malema, who also came to Lagos.
Oh, that was enough.
He made some bold statements. And he's a Pan-Africanist. He want Africa to be great. Because these are people that reason like, the Julius Nyerere of this world, the Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, the Obafemi Awolowo, in Nigeria, all of them. So there is this leaders of thought who came together saying that not just Nigeria to be a better nation, we want Africa to be the best of the continent, because we have everything to put all the rest of the continent right behind us, so that they watch us on the front. So anytime we take any issues to the court, we know two people that have actually laid the complaint. The person that came with the complaint and the one who is, defending, they know the truth, right? But it's only the judge that is on trial. And the judge will only rule based on the evidence that we have.
Exactly.
So that goes to show that we need to do our own proper investigation, forensic analysis, etc., before we give our own judgment. And justice should never be for sale.
I couldn't agree less.
Never.
And
Definitely.
the Sporting Live,
Do we have
Rhea, is where we don't have a scene today. It's where we're going to. But I just like the way we just sat down. You know.
But you're not talking about what is in his front.
I know.
The award, the pot of...
what is the... Let's hear what's going on.
The plate of food we are going to. He's celebrating Fulham and Man United, 1-1. But if he's celebrating food, Ibrahim, I'm just wondering, why is he sitting at Akimbo? Is that how you celebrate?
No, a report said that he added salt to injury for Manchester. And then the thing there is that maybe the food he now has in his front has more salt than the salt he added to the other parties. But it's good that we have our own super striker doing this and then achieving this feat. At least it denied the other club the ability to say, yes, we won this game, and then we proceed forward and all of that. So now celebrating over Nigerian dish. I don't know, were you the one that said that? What other Semo and one soup? I think, I don't know what kind of soup.
I think that's a goosey soup right there.
They didn't tell us the kind of soup it is.
But it looks like a goosey. But yeah, Osibe is right here, Maria. He's a very good player.
He is a very good player, of course.
We know that already.
You're just saying the norm. You're saying
what he said is redundant. We all know that.
He is a good player.
Well, I think that's how far we can take you on the newspaper review segment. I hope you had fun with us. Join us after the break as we explore how emerging technologies are reshaping accounting and financial practices across this country. Stay with us.